make sure you hit me right away. So. I'd like to call the meeting of the Industrial Development Agency to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those. Motion. Okay. Second. Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Treasurer's report. Should be.
Oh, yep, I had it. All right. Treasury report through January 2024, not much activity yet. Total project income of $1,000. That was related to just one small transaction we had. Total operating expenses $5,025. That includes our audit expenses. Cash on hand $668,000 and $668,858. Questions?
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve this report.
Approved.
Okay, second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. YWCA Northeastern New York project.
In 2020, the agency approved the initial application by the YWCA to build a new 54-unit structure behind their existing historic building. They applied for tax credits, as all the affordable housing projects do, and they received some guidance from the state that it might be better suited for one of their other programs. It's a 4% as-of-right tax credit program. When you do that style of tax credit application, it usually means that you do more units. So rather than feasing the new building and then the existing building, they're coming at it as one project now. And what that means is that this is seen as a different project on our end, different project for environmental review, the number of units, the amount of tax benefits that they receive. So we kind of start the process over again. So today we're going to authorize calling for a public hearing to provide benefits for the project, including a payment in lieu of tax agreement. There was a pretty well negotiated pilot for the new construction. Existing building has never paid taxes. They are going to pay a small pilot fee if they go to this new approach with tax credits on that one as well. Ray, you have anything else you want to add?
I think it's great that the project's together, because my concern, just, they're going to build a new building in the back, and the building in the front would take a number of years to get to. That's the historic building. That's the, a centerpiece of the stockade. So now we're looking at having them both done, as part of the same project. So I think that's just a better safeguard that the front building will actually get done. So, and we pick up some additional tax revenue through the pilot on the front building. So it's
Great support at the stockade level for the project. And
the city's providing some ARPA funding for this as well. It seems to be a lot of support for this, what they do there.
When do they expect to start construction?
they have to go through the tax credit process. My understanding is that they would shoot to try to get that financing in place this year. So, maybe we'll look at later this year. I can get you, as we go through the process, a better schedule.
Any other questions?
So are people living there now? They're renovating it? Is that?
Yeah, so right now, the existing building, at the start of the renovation, people do live there. There's 42 SRO units. So they will work with those folks to ensure that they have adequate housing throughout the process. Even if it's one application, I'm sure that there's some phasing that can be done. Those folks who live there will benefit from the improvements. They'll have their own bathrooms and other improvements to the building.
A good point. Thank you for raising it. Is that we're also been helping them find a location because they're going to have to relocate their daycare program on construction going on. So they have a pretty large daycare program. And Scott's been doing a great job. We've shown them a number of properties so they can move that. And while this work is being done, the building really needs overhaul. It's been patched together for years. The heating systems, everything is at risk of failure. So, we're gonna have to work on. We've been working really hard on that, find them a spot. So,
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 668-24, which is authorization to hold a public hearing to take related actions. I'll make the motion. Okay, Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Highbridge Prime Development Incorporated.
Yeah, first built in 2015. It has received IDA benefits since construction, $20 million investment. They've gone through a few different levels of financing as they've gone from construction to permanent. They are now working with Berkshire Bank on their final permanent financing. Obviously challenging times with different interest rates. They're working through that. As part of this transaction, they are changing from an Inc. status, an entity that is a Inc. to a LLC, Prime Electric City LLC. With that, it means we have to assign our benefits over to the new entity. Same majority ownership, includes Highbridge, which is located here in Schenectady, great development team. The action from an environmental review is a type 2 action, and we hope to have your approval.
Questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 669-24. Okay, second, all in favor? Aye. Okay. 1631 Eastern Parkway.
Yes, the old Fireside. We talked about this before. We approved entering into an option contract. This is just the final step to purchase it for $110,000. We have to do the secret environmental review. It's an unlisted action. This is going to have a positive environmental benefit by being rid of light on an important corridor. We're going to take ownership of it. We're still looking at a few different options. Ray and Scott and Steve have showed a few potential owners, tenants, the building to see if it can be renovated. We might just end up taking it down as well. It's been vacant for quite some time. Yep, this is final action, and then we'll enter into the contract and move this forward.
Any questions?
Any idea what you would put there? Take it down? Or does it depend on who wants it?
Well, if we take it down, I think you have to look at the size of the site and then start looking at the other buildings. I think later.
We would talk about the building next door. We can get a hold of that. There's more of an opportunity to build something there.
Right now, it would just be removed.
We've had great feedback from the Upper Union Street neighborhood, Upper Union Street bid, the neighbors, the public, the announcement that we were going to take control of the Fireside and fix it or do something with it, because it's just been, it looks horrible.
Yeah.
So we've had great, unanimous support.
It's been utilizing city resources. They've been, in the coach court with them on this issue. So this just resolves the problem, and we can.
We thank Amanda for all the back and forth with their attorneys, probably driving her crazy. But we're hopefully going to sign a contract today, right after this meeting.
That's right.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 670-24 for the seeker. I'll make that motion. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. And also for resolution 671-24, which is the authorization to purchase the property and take related actions. Make that motion. Okay, is that it? All in favor? Aye. Aye. 223 Liberty Street parking lot.
Well, we solve problems all over the city, and this is one that I'm very happy that the IDA chose to purchase this property because it's really helping with the continued revitalization of the Wedgwood State Theater building. As you know, we entered into an access agreement with that development entity, Wedgwood LLC. It's an affiliate entity of the Castle Development Group. They're the ones renovating the building to utilize the parking lot for construction laydown area, construction parking. As they started working with National Grid on how to have enough power for the building, it became evident that they needed to place some transformers and a pad on this site to feed the Wedgwood building. We fully anticipate them eventually having control of the site, whether we sell it or long-term lease to help them with their parking needs for future retail tenants. Putting this infrastructure on here, I think, is a good idea. Our action today is to have the IDA enter into an easement with National Grid, because it is National Grid's infrastructure that will be there. Whether we lease or sell the site in the future, that easement will continue to exist and be able to serve the fully renovated building moving forward. The renovation is on time. I know they had a new roof put on, you'll see new windows. They're getting steel going on the new construction. It's really going to be an important gateway building as you enter into downtown.
The steel starts going up soon. I think it's going to really make people happy, because it's going to really look nice on that corner where it was just looked horrible for years. So.
Okay, any questions? Now I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 672-24, authorizing easement. Okay, Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Watt Street parking lot.
Yes, the long-owned property, again, we talked about this at a previous meeting. 3 actions today to move this forward with the sale of the property for the full appraisal value of $225,000 to the Baldwin Group LLC. Their entity that builds self-storage. The site is complicated because it was developed by moving a city road. All that infrastructure that was under the city road continues to be there. 84-inch storm line in particular. To do anything on the site, you really needed to work with the city and kind of come up with a right approach of what development can go in the area that they would need to access it. Baldwin Group's been great about that. They're building traditional self-storage. They still are looking to purchase the super power building across the street, turn that into self-storage as well. The self-storage they will do on this site will have some relocatable units. They literally can just pick them up with a forklift and move them around where the storm infrastructure is on the site. So, the city calls up to the entity and says, we have a storm line break there, we need to access it. They are able to pick their units up, full, whatever's in them, move them to another part of the site. The city can go and dig and patch and do whatever they need to do to fix their infrastructure. And it benefits all. This site's been off the tax rolls since before you were here.
Yeah, a long time.
20, 25 years. This will be the opportunity to put it back on the tax rolls, make it a productive site for the community. And it's, for the agency here, it's just been a problem for us, people dumping tires, construction debris. So we're really excited to move this forward. The first action is seeker, unlisted action, no significant effect on the environment to build out the site. The second action, 674-24, is to authorize the IDA to enter into the easement with the city of Schenectady. Again, you'll then sell the property with the easement in place. And the third action is to authorize should be not to purchase, it should be to sell the real property.
Questions?
I just want to thank the whole team here, David, Danielle, Scott, Jennifer, to help clean up the lot. How many truckloads did we take out of this site recently? 10 or something of garbage. This lot should have never been built. It was built on spec in the anticipation that these companies in the superpower building would have hundreds and hundreds of employees that they never produced. They spent $1 million to build this lot, the IDA, and the failed policies in the past, and it's created a risk for us and an expense. I was always concerned about something happening in this lot that would result in legal action. Who knows? And so we're very excited to sell it, put that money into the IDA coffers. We're getting full value for it, and also have the superpower building across the street preserved and renovated. It's an important tax parcel to pay a big tax bill. And then we're working, the new owners have been very gracious in working with us to help the adjoining property owner, which is an important inner city manufacturing firm, help them with future expansion plans. And Scott's been doing a great job on that, to work with Danielle and David to make sure that while we sell this lot and there's development there, we can also continue to develop the site next door. So it's really been a great team effort. I haven't done anything, but they've done a great job. And we're just really excited to move this forward and get this one off our books.
Any questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 673-24 for the seeker. Okay, Lucy, Tracy seconds. All in favor? Aye. Resolution 674-24, authorizing the easement with the city of Schenectady. That motion, okay. Lucy, Tracy, second. All in favor? Aye. And resolution 675-24, just authorization to sell real property, take related actions. Okay. Second. All in favor? Aye. Is there any other business to come before?
We just wanted to discuss three quick things. One is, the arena is moving forward, which we think will be a great new destination and continue the momentum at Moore Carver. So we'll keep you posted on that. Secondly, right after this meeting, Steve, Scott, and I are going to have we have a weekly call on the Mohawk Honda and Albany Street development, which is really exciting and really coming together nicely. And I want to thank Scott, Steve, and our developer partners, TCB and Samit Gupta the mayor calls this the Mohawk Harbor project for Albany Street, Hamilton Hill. It's that significant. It could actually be almost $100 million investment. When it's said and done, the removal of a lot of blighted buildings, the infamous Schenectady 40 buildings, and the construction of new affordable housing and hopefully a grocery store. And it's moving along very, very well. And we hope to have more news on that shortly, but it'll be really move our development downtown, up State Street, up Albany Street. We got a lot of support for this project, and hopefully we want to bring it forward. We did want to just show 3 buildings on the, thank you, that we may come back to you and ask for you to consider starting the condemnation process. This is a boarding house on Edison Avenue that is really causes just like Chubby's Pizza, if you remember that, up on Crane Street, where there are just literally countless police and fire calls and vagrants and folks in this building basically almost terrorizing the neighborhood where we have a lot of businesses now. John Marcella is down there. Old World Provisions is there making cheesecake. FW Webb just moved in. It's our Broadway Commerce Park development. And this is owned by a woman. We cannot get in touch with her. She doesn't return our calls, our letters. It's basically an out of control property. The city is very frustrated. The mayor supports this, police chief. It's a disaster. And the cost of these buildings when they're operating like this in the terms of to the city as far as police and fire costs is just ridiculous. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars of our taxpayer money going to address problems from an out of control landlord and the folks who live there. So it's something that we can't reach some kind of agreement. It's really negatively impacting that side, that whole Broadway corridor. John Marcella calls almost every other week with an incident and a problem because of this building. So that's one. The second one is this beauty on Landon Terrace, right next to our really nice looking Schaefer, the old Schaefer Senior Center. It came out so good. Steve, going back to his previous service, he got rid of some of the other problem buildings there. This is owned by a woman who lives in Boston Lake, Jen. Boston. Jennifer pulled the photo of her home. It's a palatial home in Boston Lake. She has not returned our phone calls. She's not been cooperative to city codes. It's just, again, it's one of these cases where she's living the high life in the suburbs, living, really having a phenomenal lifestyle at our expense because she doesn't want to maintain this building and do anything. And we've offered to help. We're not police. We're saying, let's have the land bank, donate it to the land bank. We'll take it down. Work with us to fix it, And I've called probably Steve started. I've probably called her 30 times. Will not return our call. Just wants to ignore it. Life at the lake is great though. And we have to suffer. And everybody goes to church at St. John's on Sunday. Everyone drives up Eastern Avenue. You look to the right and you see this mess. And it's just ridiculous. So
Does anyone live there?
No. It's just, very unsafe. Fire risk, it puts our police and fire people in danger, and they have enough to do. So the next one is, of course, the property next to Fireside, which has been badly neglected. Again, the owner from Jersey City will not return anybody's calls. We reached out. We found her brother. He wasn't helpful. Again, just ignoring things, living in the Metro New York area, posh lifestyle, everything's great, wonderful life. We suffer because of their inattention to their properties. And so we're gonna be working on this the next few weeks. We may ask her to come back and begin the condemnation process. Sometimes that really gets the property owner's attention. Usually it does because they know we're taking that extreme action, but we don't like to do it unless we have to. But it's where we have done it, like at Chubby's Pizza on Braintree, it's really worked well because we're taking definitive action against some of these horrible property owners. So just wanted to thank Scott and Jennifer for going out and taking the pictures yesterday. And we just want to come back and start thinking about that. It's unfortunate, but some of these property owners are just, if you go back to that land and just, I mean, that looks like something out of a horror movie. I mean,
I was thinking the Addams Family.
yeah, I know. I said the same thing yesterday. I said the same thing.
What's even scarier is just up the street a little bit is a little pocket park.
Great point.
And the kids are playing there. Somebody could, in a car,
Great
grab one of these kids, bring them in there. You never even know it. Stupid stuff can happen.
And that park was just fixed by, and the Gazette wrote about it. Yeah, they had a guy from the neighborhood really lead the charge to fix that park. And of course, it's around the corner from my side, which is contemplating relocating. One of the reasons, we've cleaned up a lot of blight around my side, including the Schaefer building. We took down the Kwanzaa, created the parking, took down 2 houses on, not Terrace Heights, now called Museum Drive. But this doesn't help us with our efforts to keep my side, because, the folks in Niskuna cut up Blandon Terrace and cut over to the museum, take their kids to a show or something. It's a disaster. So it's just very, very frustrating. And the city cites these people. There are all kinds of violations on the door, right?
There was one on the door. They had took that picture, I think. Yeah.
Well, this was taken yesterday.
Oh, then it was the week before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's where we are. So hopefully we'll come back to you on that, but and then deploy the land bank and our great team here to probably tear it down.
That was when I tried to buy that from, I think it was Wells Fargo 8 years ago.
Yeah.
When they sold it to her. Couldn't get it.
So it's not like she hasn't had time to fix it.
Yeah.
8 years is a long time.
You wonder why people would want to hang on to something like this.
It's the greatest
They
question.
see the progress that we have downtown, they think they're getting a great deal, and then they just either lose interest or it's more than they anticipated. We try to give them a nice opportunity to get out of it. If they don't return our calls, we can't do anything.
So thank you. Appreciate everyone coming in today to move forward on this project.
Yeah, we'll be back at some point in March for our annual audit review, annual reports, so that we can make the submissions to the Authority Budget Office for the end of the month, and then we'll be doing the public hearing for the YWCA. So we'll take the next step on that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, any other business? Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, second, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
I have a question. That, the buildings that are going up across from